Aries, this is your weekly oracle and tarot card reading from Born Without Boundaries. And yes, it is for Aries, Sun, Moon, Rising, or even if you're dealing with wherever Aries influences your life. There's always an extended. You can click that link below. I'd love to have you over there. Let's start with the channeled message because I've been thinking about you guys extensively, and I did not want to start this conversation without being certain. And I know that it's hard for you guys to feel vulnerable. It's probably, I would say, of any sign, vulnerability is something that you consider insufferable and in many ways would even self-loathe for. This sense of being weak, showing your weak side, being afraid to cry in front of others or get emotional, not only fearing that it wouldn't be validated by the people, even people who are supposed to love you, but it wouldn't be validated by you. It wouldn't be validated by your standards of yourself and the bar that you have to meet every day to wake up and be the powerful Aries that you expect yourself to be. And I don't think people realize that about you, especially if you're hard on everybody else, which you can be. They don't realize that you are doubly, triply, quadruply hard on yourself. They don't get the half of your expectations. So now there is a sense of vulnerability that is lingering. And I have to say it's partially because of where the moon is placed right now. And it'll only be there for a couple days, so don't worry about it. But Mars is it, your ruling planet is you. It's with you, man. But Chiron is also with you in retrograde. So this brings out a dynamic that could make you unsure or question everything that you felt so certain about before, and make you feel stupid and embarrassed and embarrassed for something that you once felt so confident. It was so easy to have confidence before, and now it's not as easy. But these questioning periods in our lives are the chances, the opportunities where we can get the strongest and improve the most. And I know you guys like to be strong, and I know you guys like to be well muscled and cut and on point, and I know it. I know it's important to you, and this is really how you're gonna sculpt your soul, not just your body, but your soul. In a lot of ways, I know that you love to get into the physical. So I would suggest, if you have been feeling a lack of confidence in yourself, maybe you haven't been as physical as you really need to be, right? Getting into your body helps so much. It helps to empower you. It helps to make you feel in control of your circumstance. And it really helps to make you love yourself, because in every workout, through every workout, there is an accomplishment. So I'm not telling you that you have to go do P90X, if that's even a thing anymore, but I'm saying that getting into your body could really help you get out of your head and get into and confront your doubt as a partner, that as a challenge to strengthen you, as a personal trainer, as opposed to that thing which you hate yourself more for. There's something that you need help with. I know that. And your pride is keeping you from asking. You're almost willing to fight the fight that is self-destructive instead of just admit why you're scared. You have to fight the fight that is most necessary. You have to fight the fight that is most fearsome. And that fight is the fight that you're trying to avoid, because that fight is the one you feel weak in. And that fight is the one you've assumed you're going to inevitably lose. But I can tell you that is not the case. That is not the case. You've assumed it You feel it. You feel, wow, these vulnerabilities are what makes me not worthy. And once people see those vulnerabilities about me, if I actually told people what I was really going through every day, I would feel ashamed and sickened by myself because I don't ever want to look that weak. Well, that's the battle you have to fight. And it's not an easy battle. It's probably the greatest challenge. And I try to explain to my son, who is an Aries rising, I try to explain to him so often in his life. I was like, I know that you're fearsome, and I know that you're brave, and I know that you're an adrenaline junkie, and so many things that other people would be afraid of, like jumping out of planes or flying planes or racing cars, or so many things that other people would be afraid of, even just chasing your dreams, which he's doing. You don't have any problems with, but your biggest fear is academics, patience, time management, sitting down and reading A Tale of Two Cities. As stupid and silly as it sounds, that is the demon. That is your bullrug. That is your comeuppance. That is your who is the stone? Was it Prometheus that had to keep rolling the stone up? That is your stone in Hades. That Greek figure that had to keep rolling up the stone, and then it would just topple back down on him. That was his punishment his whole life. That's yours. That is yours. And by not facing it, it doesn't matter how many planes you jump out of or how fast you fly, you're still a fucking coward. Because we only are brave in the face of actual fear. It was a wonderful quote from a Game of Thrones, is that's the only time you can be brave, is when you're afraid. If you're not afraid of it, then how are you being brave or courageous? And I feel like there is that sense of acting out or trying to make big demonstrations to show or demonstrate the appearance of competence, when underneath you feel very incompetent because you're not confronting what you're actually afraid of. And that's how you're brave. That's where true courage comes in. It could be that person who tries to speak a new language for the first time and stutters and embarrasses themselves and gets laughed at, in front of their whole class. And they're so terrified, but they do it. They do it despite the fact that they're afraid. It doesn't matter how big or loud you are about the things that attract you and come easy to you. And I'm not telling you to give those things up. No, of course not. We're all drawn to the things that we're meant to do, but there is something that's holding you back from actually being as good as you can be at all the things that you do. And the reason is this pride and this fear that you don't want to face. And it's that fear that is actually making a fool of you. Your greatest challenge is to actually confront the fear and actually confront the vulnerability. And how do we get you there? That's what I really want to know. So, what's in the cards? This and that are true. Seeing from things from a different perspective, seeing things from a different side, seeing somebody else's perspective, Aries, and learning from it. Learning and respecting it and honoring it, because in the past you have essentially blocked it, become very defensive. There is a sense of knowing that you need to take over a new leaf, knowing that you need to try something that you don't feel secure of and that you will probably fall flat on your face from. And that and you being so defensive, and it's not that you're not doing it, but you're like being dragged with your knuckles and nails bleeding. Like you are going, but you're not intentionally going. You're going kicking and screaming and very defensive, and making, seeing somebody else's perspective be such a chore that is almost devaluing the whole experience for you. I think it's because you don't want to see, if this is a person especially, you don't want to see somebody else's perspective. This is somebody that you are defensive about, that you have had a good deal of reason to be defensive about. And that is hard, isn't it? Because this is somebody who, well, made you grow the spikes and the spines to begin with. So if you're dealing with a person, this is an extra sensitive circumstance. And for some of you, I do feel like you are. Could be an Aquarius. It doesn't have to be, but it's definitely somebody who's probably a lot more social than you. I'll just say that. Which means in some ways you could feel that they have other people on their side. And maybe you've been bullied by this person before. So there is a sense of legitimate, I don't want to let my guard down around this person. But you do still have to face that fear of being vulnerable again, because there is a sense of some sort of coming together and having to communicate with this person, and somehow figuring out how to find some value in this circumstance that was or this relationship that was extremely uncomfortable for you. And that is a really tricky situation. There's also a sense of having to pick on scraps and being defensive and not wanting to pick on scraps and not wanting to be left behind. And trying to figure out how picking on scraps might be valuable, or how you can live off scraps for a while if that's what you have to do. But there's just this sense of trying to find the treasure in the trash heap, but making it extra difficult to do that because of the defense mechanisms that you've put up around yourself, that you've built up over such a period of time. Seeing things from somebody else's perspective is very difficult. And I think it's something that you have strayed away from because you're scared that it means you'll lose yourself. Truth transcends illusion. This is Aquarius energy too, but it's about the truth aspect of just saying what is real and saying what is true. It's also a transformative energy of it's time to move on. And becoming more flexible and more malleable is not synonymous with becoming weaker, because the firefly teaches us how very, very powerful being adaptable is. The firefly is the most talented flyer out of all the flyers on this planet. He can literally go backwards, go forwards at the drop of a hat. He can hover. I mean, he can go from being a fucking helicopter to a fucking jet in a second. And humans can't even replicate this. So there's such a wonderful such a wonderful strength to Firefly's malleability. And he teaches us how those beautiful aerial acrobatics are steeped in strength and steeped in capability, and that you are capable of them too. And that what you have learned and been through and how you have been hurt in the past is actually informing how you can become more flexible, and how being more adaptable is so important. Because probably one of the biggest parts, especially if you were dealing with a human, and this isn't just a mental circumstance, but especially if you were dealing with a specific person, there is a sense of their inflexibility is what caused you so much pain. Their unwillingness to see things from your perspective is what hurt so much and made them devalue you so often. So there is a sense of realizing, I don't want to be like them. I don't want to be that person who says there's only one way. I don't want to be stuck. I don't want to be stuck. I want to move forward. I am about progress. I am progress. And so even if it means facing this fear, I got to start putting it together. This is collaboration. So this is some sort of partnership. Being able to piece together what is right for you. Being able to learn more about or find a way to work with somebody else again after maybe a very long time spent on your own, because that's where you felt secure. And all of us need to heal for a certain period of time, Aries. So if that's what you've been doing, then that's good on you. Take the time to heal. I know you guys went through a shit year last year. I would never want to replicate it for any of you. So there is a sense of, if you needed this time to heal, okay. And now there's this step of, okay, well, I've stopped running on my broken leg, which I was trying to do, and I just stopped that shit and I gave myself the rest and I allowed my broken leg to heal. And I had patience with myself, and I learned how to walk again, then I learned how to run again, then I learned how to do a marathon, and I'm back, and it feels so good to have my two legs underneath me. And now I got to learn how to dance with somebody else, because there is that next step in our progression of being human. Once we know ourselves, now we can share ourselves, and that's where the vulnerability comes in. Sharing ourselves, knowing and learning what we've learned from collaborations in the past, knowing all those things, and really having to now bridge that dangerous territory where we're vulnerable, because it's not just about us, and it's not just about what we can do. It's about what we can't do. It's about what we're uncomfortable with. It's about allowing ourselves to ask for help. This is ego, but it's ego based on that sense of lack of self-worth. You're insecure. You're unhappy with yourself. You feel weak. You feel diminished. This is something that you don't feel confident about, something that you don't feel good about. You don't feel good about yourself. You'd rather hide yourself and pretend to be something, or paint a picture of what you are or what you want people to see you. But it's papier-mâché. It's papier-mâché. It's not real, and it's very thin, and people can see through, and they actually think it's kind of weird. And if you're getting faces from them, it's not because they'd actually be scared of the vulnerability underneath. It's because they don't get this weird fucking papier-mâché. You're masking yourself, and that's what's weird. The insincerity is what's weird. The insincerity is what most people are looking strange at, and good people are being turned off by. It's not your vulnerability. It's your attempts to cover it up that's making you look like a freak. And it is freaky. I'm gonna call you out, because it's sad. It's sad that covering up that side of yourself is something that you would do, because that's going to suffocate you, because you're beautiful you. And shouldn't all of you be out in front and in the light? But there is something here that is a real sense of insecurity that is being covered up by a really, really big ego. Now, there is a possibility that some of you are dealing with this energy. Of course, you could always reverse the energies. I don't know if you're dealing with a Leo. Like I said, we have a lot of Aquarius energy here, so we do have fixed energy. I gotta check the charts. I'm sorry, I didn't see the charts. I don't remember looking at the charts today. I have a feeling like Mars. No, that's not it. Just want to be sure. I'm trying to remember the charts. I don't want to say anything that isn't accurate or true. There is that sense of self that is becoming defensive and protective of what it knows its weak points are, instead of really owning and loving and honoring those weak points, which is what we do, which is what we need to do to make them stronger. So this is this sense of spirit has your back. Tend to the small things, those little things that you're ashamed of, those things that those things that have been building up little by little, hiding in the walls, thinking you can ignore them, but they're creeping out now. So this is a sense of spirit coming in and saying, this is Capricornian energy, but it's also a sense of spirit has your back. So that Saturnian energy of one step at a time, long-term commitment to this goal. It's going to take you chipping away at something. It's not going to happen overnight, and this isn't a big demonstration. And it is those little things and those little details and those small things that matter so much in this current situation. It's those small things that you're so tempted to just overlook because you know they're the ones that you're ashamed of the most. We need to get some spirit and angel guide messages in here for you, Aries. It's imperative. What do you want to say, angels? What do you want Aries to know? Love you, angels. Miracle was the first card that came open to me. So let's read that first. Let you see it. Our wings of light surround you and those you love. This current situation is governed by a higher power. The forces of love are at work. All will turn out well. This is believing in something even when you don't want to believe in it. This is the impossible happening despite you. So in other words, this is really a message from the angels confirming this energy. Spirit is going to come in and help you eat up these mice. There's going to be some divine intervention that enables you to move forward and either believe in yourself, support you, take care of you, see you as a leader, see you as an important investment. This is a sense of you don't have to figure out this whole solution by yourself. You don't. Because you don't know right now. There's a lot of ambiguity here. And you are in a vulnerable position. Maybe more vulnerable than you've ever been. So, help is on the way. Help that I can't even define because it's going to be very particular to each of you. But it's just the kind of help that you need. The unknown. Do not fear the unknown. This is a time of deep exploration and transformation. Unfamiliar territory leads to new horizons. This is the time that you're meant to find your place. Or learn what you have to learn to be all that you really want to be and to really get, I just feel like it's like spirit and angels want you to be all that you've always wanted to be, but you were going about it the wrong way. And the way that you had to go about it, you were scared to go. You were refusing. That was the way that you didn't want to go. But that's the way that you have to go because you have to build up the character of being afraid and being vulnerable and still figuring out a way through. And that's why Spirit's leading you down the path. It's not to torment you or torture you or because they hate you. It's because they believe in you. They know you can do it. They know you got the stuff or they know what stuff you don't got and what stuff you need, and they know exactly how to make you develop it. And that's why they're putting you on this road that's uncomfortable. It's not mean stuff happening to you. It's not going to be like last year. It's going to be just these challenging things that are going to turn you into the person that you want to be and that you need to be to achieve your goals. And then Heart Song has come out. What is your heart saying? Stop and listen. Your truth lies within the empty spaces between your thoughts. Your truth shines from your truth shines through from within your soul. Your truth is that which is eternal and unchanging. Your truth is love. Who are you really? It's time to stop being afraid and just start being that. What is your heart saying? I love this line. Your truth lies within the empty spaces between your thoughts. You've been overthinking things. You've been trying to justify things. You've been trying to find reasons to rationalize your fears. Those thoughts are getting in the way. The answer to this and the direction that you have to go is not through your thoughts. It's not through rationale. It's through faith. Compassion. Why is this card so powerful? We'll read it. This is why. When you show greater compassion toward yourself, the universe automatically responds by showering you with greater blessings. Damn, Aries. When do we show something compassion? When it's going our way, when it's strong and powerful? No, we show something compassion when it's weak and diminished. And there's a part of you that is weak and diminished, and you have not been compassionate. You have been mean to it. You have been draconian and objective and cold to it. You have treated it like the unwanted child, and that's why it's growing more and more out of control, because it needs your attention. It needs your love. This part of yourself, or this part of your world, because you may not be dealing with a part of yourself, you may be dealing with a person, needs your love. They need your attention. They need you to understand that even though they are weak and diminutive and imperfect, they are valued and they have a place in your life. This is a great time to go into tarot because it will articulate a lot of things. The link is below. I'll see you guys over there.